It's the livest Monday night crew you're going to ever find. It's Lamont Tyson, Team Life Games. Joining me so far is the Hammer, who done went and split her own damn wig, got that hair looking right. Hair look like it's got a life of its own. Boy, I was like, my goodness. And then we got the homie J-Mo down there repping the Chicago. What's going on, my people?
What's good? What's good? How's everybody?
Can't complain. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing Black Panther, but we're not going to do the traditional review where everybody tells you their opinions. We might do that at the end. But this review is going to be more of, we're going to figure out what people's ratings were and then let them come up with a way they would have changed the movie to make it better. Now, did you guys see this information right here? Let me put this up for you guys to see. Black Panther Wakanda Forever sets a new box office record for November. The movie grosses $330 million worldwide in the first weekend. Damn!
The movie theater was packed when I went.
It wasn't
mine too.
Mine was.
The first theater I went to was crowded. The second one wasn't. The third one was, and the fourth one was.
It wasn't that bad. No, I didn't have to do all that. But normally I could go in and I'm like one of only a handful of people in the theater. This time, the first show at 4, because I like to go early. I'm old. The 4 o'clock. Hey, we don't play around late like we used to no more. But the 4 o'clock was packed, and I was like, oh wow. And then when I went to the 5 o'clock, it was seats, and it was a few, but it wasn't like normal where you could just walk in and do whatever you want. And by the time it started, it probably was about 70% full for the 5-something show. And you know they got it on multiple screens, so that was pretty good to me.
Right.
Considering, what did I see? The Rock, what was the Rock? Black Adam?
Black Adam.
That was empty. And I saw that the day it came out, and it was empty at 4 o'clock show. You know, but this was sold out.
My showing that I went to was earlier than both of y'all, so that means I'm real old. I went to the noon.
And that was sold out? I tried to catch the 2 o'clock, but I didn't. I was dragging. Yeah. I didn't try to go at noon, though. What? And the people sold out at noon? I don't think I ever been at noon. I didn't think about that.
Look, I put a post on Facebook. If y'all not following me on Facebook, I do drop some jokes up there. I was like, damn, ain't nobody got a job in Joe Biden's America? It's noon. And I'm seeing everybody from age 90 down to age 6 was in that movie theater on a Thursday at noon. Whoa, I was like, bro, I thought I was going to go in there, have the whole movie theater to myself, take my clothes off, run around naked like I always like to do when I got the whole theater to myself.
What movies you go see?
Good. No, Jay, when I go to a boring movie, I got to spice it up.
I see.
It's so boring, I got to do something.
You flip the script. They watch you now.
Yeah, I flip the script. I love to see my silhouette on the movie screen, okay? So that's why I'm script writing, ladies and gentlemen, so I can get an impression of me on the screen somewhere.
Yeah, don't have a boring movie for Lamont. We might thought we was seeing the movie, next thing you know, it's Sausage Party Part 2.
Hey, that's what it is, baby.
Right.
A sausage fest for sure. We've got, let's see here, Inga is in the building, Sierra Forever, DeMarcus Vaughn, Tressa C, my homie, Latasha Hunter, Simply Amira J. Ooh, glad to have her in the building. I like that name.
One thing I will say, one thing I'll say right quick, that when we was at the theater, it was a good thing. I ain't been performing or going on stage since COVID, and so it was a little crowd in there, and I did have a little joke or two. Everybody laughed, and I did feel I felt good.
Okay, that's great, man. So are you going to get back on the comedy tour? You going to get back out there anytime soon?
I actually have been saying it for a while that I'm going to keep going and doing it, and I'm going to do it. And I ain't did it yet, but I am going to do it. So within this month. I'm gonna start back, but it just feels a little different, to hear people, feedback. Sometimes you hear musicians will say it's nothing like the crowd when they perform. It's nothing like you saying some stuff and everybody laughing and you get that energy back. Even though it wasn't that big of a deal, but it just felt different.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all better check Jay out. Coming to a stage near you with the jokes. Better get ready. He gonna pump you full of laughter, and if you're gonna be pumped full of something, laughter is the thing you want to be pumped full for.
That is definitely true. But one thing I did do during that is I always kept writing. So I got about
you keep your craft sharpened.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of stuff
Keep his craft sharpened and his wigs blonde. So be on the lookout for a J-Mo Trump coming to a theater near you real soon, okay?
It's gonna be beautiful.
That's right. So let's jump on into this thing, ladies and gentlemen. We are discussing Wakanda Forever. Big box opening, $330 million in one weekend worldwide. They supplanted their budget. Their budget was $245 million, so they're profitable already in one weekend. But what I want to know from these two outstanding content creators is, if you didn't rate the thing a perfect 10, how would you have changed it? So I'll start with you, Moochie, the hammer that done went and got her hair done, ladies and gentlemen, looking spiffy over there trying to get her a date. So Moochie, what was your rating for this version of Black Panther?
It was a good movie to me.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it. I want to say I gave it a 10 because of the movie itself, but it was things I was kind of disappointed with certain things.
Okay, well, let's start with that.
I didn't like the movie.
Well, let's start with that, Moochie. What would you have changed? What would you have changed about the movie?
I felt like it was called Wakanda Forever. I felt we didn't see enough of Wakanda.
Okay.
I felt we didn't see enough of Wakanda. I felt that we waited at least the first 30 minutes of the movie before we saw any male presence, like a strong male presence on the Wakanda side.
Mm-hmm.
As far as it seemed like the woman just took over with this movie, and I was happy to see that. Certain things I would have changed. I don't like what they did with Angela Bassett's character. I was disappointed with that. I felt they didn't have to. That shouldn't have been done.
Right. Had to knock off like that. Before I get to Jay, let me shout out the big homie Eric Iverson, cousin to Allen Iverson, says, my thing is, how were there no Avengers at the King's funeral? A couple of us had that complaint.
Yeah,
For real. That was disrespectful. Not even a cameo before all the drama started. That was weird to me. Shout out to Eric. Eric, I think everybody has said that because when Tony Stark ass died, everybody showed up to his funeral. Everybody. And as integral of a role as T'Challa and Wakanda played in Avengers Infinity War, getting this thing kicked off, you mean tell me not one single Avenger could have made it? Not one. Not Thor, not Rhodey, and I don't even really consider him an Avenger. Not the new Captain Winter Soldier, Falcon. He could, if anybody should have showed up, the Winter Soldier should have showed up because they saved his arm, they saved his life, they reprogrammed him so that he ain't got to worry about being tricked into being a soldier for the German army no more. So he should have showed up. Having said that, Jay, what was your rating and what would you have changed?
All right. Well, as everybody know, I do my little ratings, the MOEDOT. And so, according to the MOEDOT, I'm going to give it a 7. Wakanda Forever. The movie was kind of whack to me. Yeah, Waterboy was cool. Yeah, the Waterboy was cool, but he really was just misunderstood. And after he killed the queen, I don't see how it's about to be peace. I didn't like how nobody showed up for him at the funeral unless they tried to keep it a secret. They tried to make it like a woman's movie, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but she couldn't fight. Shuri didn't know how to fight. And then I do like, I don't know if I want to say it just yet, but, you know, it looked like part 3 is going to be the fight for child support. So I'm here for it.
We spoiling this one now, so don't even worry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear any spoilers, I suggest you turn away. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
That's what I'm doing.
I gave it 7 out of 10 because for overall, I pretty much did like the movie, but I'm frustrated because the movie could have been a 10.
It could have been.
There was a couple of elements that was missing that could have made it a 10 that they didn't do. Mm-hmm. Number one, the other Avengers, at least 3 of them should have showed up for T'Challa's funeral. Now, I did love the way they did the funeral. They sent his casket vertical. Loved it. It was a beautiful scene. It was just missing some people. I was bummed out by the way Queen Mother died too. Mm-hmm. I didn't get emotionally invested in the way she died as much as I was emotionally invested in the person playing Queen Mother not being on this set to display her outstanding acting for us to see in Wakanda forever again. I was more upset about that than I was Queen Mother dying. Some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but you know what? You don't come to my channel for fakeness, okay? I was not thrilled with Riri. I'm sorry. There was times where I felt like Riri was overacting. There was a good bit of time where I said to myself, why do we need another scientist? We already got one female scientist who's probably the baddest ass of all the female scientists on planet Earth.
Now we got another Tony Stark.
Yeah, and the thing about that character was, since they're harping on me about character evolvement and stuff like that in scripts, we don't know how she became Ironheart. They didn't even mention her real name, Ironheart, in the movie, and we don't know how she got to where she was at.
And she's now, so young, and you know they pushing the narrative for that Iron War and stuff, so it seemed like it's being forced.
The thing is, she's smarter than Tony Stark in the comics. But in order for us to understand all that, we needed more of her backstory.
I was just going to say that. I feel like they left a big chunk of that out where we didn't know. Mm-hmm. Because now all of a sudden we see her in a suit like Iron Man.
Exactly. At 18.
Almost exactly how this works. And they don't explain, was she working for him? How did she get this? How did she get this technology?
Because
they explain that she went to MIT.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we all are not, like, I'm in the comic books, but I stopped. So I didn't get into, I stopped before Black Panther. I got into that. So I don't know all of the details of this character or Black Panther. So, like, I like when they tell us a little bit more. I know they got to have stuff for the comic people, but you got to have stuff for the film people, and it's not easy to balance both, but I agree. I would have liked a little more because I didn't know who she was. You know? In
all honesty, this film was balanced more for people who are non-comic book heads than it was for the comic book heads, because the biggest point that they should have had fixed, I'll get to it in a minute, is something that is comic book germane that they didn't do. They should have done that. So Riri, I really wasn't feeling Riri. Now, I'm all about female-led anything, because I can be pro-male and pro-female at the same time. Because I'm supporting one or the other one doesn't mean I'm degrading the other one. I can be both. I'm not in a small box where I can't be thinking and supporting two things at the same time. And so I'm all about female-led movies. I was one of the only people who caked up for Captain Marvel where everybody else hated it. A lot of dudes was MCU, all kinds of stuff. With Captain Marvel.
MCU. You talking about the movie
MCU.
or the series?
The movie.
The movie was good. My son didn't even want to see it, but after seeing it, he said it was good. The series, I didn't see all of this Captain Marvel series on Disney Plus. How was that?
It's alright. It was alright, and that was Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Big difference.
They're gonna make the Marvels.
Right.
They're gonna make the Marvels movie with all of them in it, though, right? Miss Marvel. Okay. Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. Let me get to my big homie. Buzz sent me a super chat who's constant as the night turns black in North Carolina. He says, "This was about black people. What'd you expect? Credits did downplay the first Black Panther. I've not seen the movie yet." Well, Buzz, I'm not going to tell you not to go see it. You're definitely going to want to go see it. It's worth your wait to go see the movie. And let me check this one out. Another super chat. Appreciate you. Will Lawrence. He says, M'Baku was underused. I didn't like it. I didn't like Ironheart. Was not needed at the time. The killing the queen was a huge L.
Right.
And I would agree.
I agree too.
I would agree. I would agree.
The fish
Ironheart
man
wasn't strong enough. She wasn't strong enough of a plot point. She was not strong enough of a plot point for the queen to die in that moment. You know, I would have rather seen the queen die another way.
Right.
So I would have fixed that. I didn't like how the queen, but I would have left this in the movie. I wouldn't have changed it. It was a nitpick for me. When the queen jumped down Okoye's throat, when Okoye lost Shuri, that was a nitpick for me because I felt like the queen was in pain. The queen was blaming all the deaths in her family to Okoye.
Right.
And it wasn't Okoye's fault that all these other deaths happened. It wasn't Okoye's fault that you suffered all this much. The only thing that's happened is she lost Shuri, and Shuri was still alive. There was no notation that Shuri was dead. Mm-hmm. So I didn't like her doing Okoye like that when Okoye is the best of what you got left.
And
you firing the general.
Fish Wish was no joke.
What you got left?
Yeah, Fish Wish that she was fighting. Hey, he was a beast.
Well,
in the comic, his name is Atuma.
Y'all, I mean, to me, he's a mutant. So he's fighting a woman.
Right, a regular woman.
No. He's a mutant. At the end of the day, if he's underwater with them,
Atuma ain't a mutant. Atuma just kind of descends from the people that had the heart-shaped herb.
Well, Moochie talking about he's not a regular human.
She didn't have the herb.
No, Moochie is saying that the blue guy is not a regular guy, and she's just a regular woman, is what she's trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. People, the way y'all are talking about it, she fought somebody that had like powers.
Right.
Because he took that herb. And she still was kind of handling her business to me.
She was.
I'm going to stand on that. She was handling her business, but
if she was stronger, she would have been better. But
she was stronger than her.
Right.
So she fought with all her might to make sure to try to keep Shuri there. But he loved the competition.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't been in a good fight in a long time, so he wanted to basically strut his stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he was doing. And finally, when he got tired of her foolishness, he put his stick down and said, B, I'm the man on this bridge. Boing! Broke that shoulder right in two. But I like how Okoye was a bad A, and she was like, I don't give a damn about my shoulder being broke. I'm going to get back up and finish whipping them hind parts. And then Namora comes along and says, stop playing your little game. Stop flirting with the black women because everybody like chocolate, okay? And I don't want you to go and get you a chocolate baby that got fish gills. So go ahead and throw her ass in the pool. That's what she did. Got rid of them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, down there below me is the best diva in the DMV. It's Nita the Diva. What's going on, Nita?
Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing good. Ready to talk some Wakanda forever.
Okay, well, what was your rating and what would you change in your rating to get the movie to a 10?
My rating is like a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
After people been trying to kind of let me know the reason why Queen Mother passed away. I kind of understood it. I understood it, and I'm like, okay, I understand the weight that they was trying to do. They was trying to, build Shuri's arc and trying to, flesh out the story and stuff like that. I think, what would I change? I would take out all of the setup. I think that the movie would have been better if it was just a little bit more small scale. I think if it was just Namor and maybe the tribute, all of the CIA stuff, all of the, these new suits that they were doing. I don't know. I feel like if they're going to have these spinoffs in Disney Plus, then they could have just put that there. I feel like they didn't have to overstuff the movie. They could have kept it a little bit more simplistic, kept it with Namor, the celebrating the legacy of Chadwick, and that's it. And we could have got it to a 10.
Nita, this movie made $330 million worldwide. Breaks a November record for the biggest box office hit in November ever. The budget was $245 million, so they're already almost $100 million over that.
Yeah.
Do you see another Black Panther, a Black Panther 3 coming out?
Absolutely. They would be crazy not to do that.
I said this part 3 is the fight for child support.
Hey, you can't get no child support from the ancestors.
That's actually the joke I said at the show too.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's why I had to reuse it. This is a good one.
Look, man,
you hear anybody say that? That was mine. You hear anybody say that? They plagiarized. No, I'm joking.
So I got a thing I want to know with everybody. Go ahead, Moochie.
I was gonna say, you know what other part I was kind of upset about, where they now we know that Killmonger's gone.
Really did.
And I feel like it was like they got rid of all the strong men, and that was my problem.
And made M'Baku weak. The fish man. The fish man.
Somebody argued me down with that, and they said that I said they made him look weak.
Yeah, very weak.
And that's what I didn't like about it. And I'm not even talking about the part where him and Atlantis had the fight. You understand?
Oh no, that's what I was talking about. What are you talking about?
I feel like they made him weak before that, when they had that whole council meeting, and I understood why they said he didn't. Why go and save one scientist and this and that. But I just felt like they made him. He was supposed to have more in the movie. His part was supposed to be bigger, and I was disappointed with that. So I don't know. I'm just.
But Moochie, did you see how at first his first inkling was to kill him, and then he turned around and said, "Maybe you don't want to." I was like, "Well, which one is it?" Like I thought, that was the first thing when they all, talked about the problem.
They kind of, they kind of made him like the comedic relief in this movie.
Yeah, he definitely was that.
Always.
He was that. So, ladies and gentlemen, look who's decided to show up with us on Monday. I'm sorry I missed her on Friday. She is a vet, and we're happy to have her here. Happy Veterans Day to my sister who sacrificed everything for this country. As the white people say, thank you for your service, but I'm a super chat you because that's me saying really thanking you, okay? I get tired of people saying thank you. I don't want to put no dollars behind it. So thank you for your service. Please give us a little story about what branch you served in, why you did it, and then we'll talk to you about how M'Baku got a nutsack pulled off his body and crushed on the table.
I missed that part.
I was sitting there like, wait, hold up, when that happened?
They really made him weak.
At the very end, when Shuri pointed at him like, "You gonna do it." Y'all ain't see that coconut just dropped from the sky? That was his ball.
Keep in mind, she took the fruit. She took that too, so she was stronger. So I was corrected with that by someone too. But anyway, go ahead.
But I was in the Navy, so who y'all Navy? Anybody who has any relatives or anybody or my shipmates watching because they mess with the channel. So who y'all Navy? I was definitely in that branch, the greatest branch. Talk my mess. But what would you like to know? Like a experience, a funny story. Like what you want to know? Dig deep.
Well, for one thing, I must say I'm proud of you, my sister. You a black sister that can swim, because they don't let your ass in the Navy. You can't swim.
Well, no, they taught me I couldn't swim. That's why I'm traumatized with water now, because they just pushed me in like 30 feet. Like, yeah.
Wow.
I don't play with
You joined the Navy without knowing how to swim.
Yes, I joined the Navy without knowing how to swim, because when it came down to the branches, the Navy is the only branch that does not require pull-ups and basic training. I don't have upper body strength. So I said it's either swim or pull-ups. I knew I would be able to swim before I learned how to do a pull-up. I got low body strength.
Wait a minute. So the Air Force make you do a pull-up?
Yes.
Yeah, because if you crash, you may need how to fight and do stuff. Navy, you might just sink, so you better know how to swim. Sink or swim.
Nah, we do. We not typically trained on hand-to-hand combat.
No, Navy SEALs.
The Navy is the Navy is the shooter branch. You want to be technical because we on water, so you got to have the accuracy.
Navy and Air Force.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't I could literally go to the gym and push 215 with my legs, and I could barely bench press maybe 100, if that. Like, I have no upper body strength. So swimming, I learned how to swim.
Well, don't feel bad. That's most women.
Drown, but
women don't normally have 22-inch pythons, so it's okay. Don't feel bad.
Okay, I feel better. There we go.
Yeah, you all
I'm
right.
glad to get you right.
Yeah,
Glad to
you
get
all
you right, Lex Nicole. All the women in my circle can do at least 3 pull-ups, no matter how much they weigh. My wife weighs about 160, and she can do about 20 pull-ups.
Don't listen to him.
Right.
He in North Carolina, so they a little different.
I'm gonna get you right. One of these days, I'm gonna come up there for a week, and I'm gonna get you right. But back to your Navy story.
I'm gonna have you bailing.
Tell us what was the motivation to get into the Navy in the first place? What made you want to serve your country and all the diversity that this country holds? What was the motivation for you to go?
It's a very unpatriotic answer, but it was school. I just wanted them to pay for school.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I'm not gonna lie. I really just wanted them to pay for school. So I went to, because I was already in school, but a lot of the times, especially, we as Black people, like, especially if you're a first generation college student, you're kind of expected to know, your major and things like, and in a perfect world, you can go to school for 3 years and say, I want to be a doctor, or to switch over and say, no, I want to be a school teacher. And now certain credits don't transfer, blah, blah. So it was time wasted. Parents like, all right, what you want to do? So I ended up going to the Navy. I felt like that was the safest branch. I literally had a conversation with myself, like, don't like walking, can't be in the Army, not a fan of heights, can't be in the Air Force. Yeah.
Walking is the problem with the Army. I'm about blowed up. I ain't trying to get bloated up. That's the problem.
You gonna backpack walk with the I'm lazy. Let's like
man.
Next. So.
We can walk. We gonna walk
goodness.
away from getting bloated up. That's the problem.
Nah, big fact. I feel like the Navy
like
was the safest branch, which I mean, in technicality, in retrospect, it sort of is, and it's also the intelligence branch. I
and
had
Air Force,
very high ASVAB, which is the test that you take to get into the military. I had a very high score, so the Navy was it's like I said, it's the intellectual branch. The Navy is the heart of the military. For those who don't know, the Army would fail without us. The Marines would fail without us. We are that branch.
Every branch says this stuff. It's funny. My dad in the Marines, and I mean, he say the same stuff. Everybody, they're very patriotic for their branch, boy. I was drilled to get into a branch.
Though. See, the Army can't get their supplies without the Navy. The Marines can't get to their predestination. Marines never fly into their exact destination. We take them a couple nautical miles outside of it, and then they usually
Alexa,
take us. Like I said, and it's the intelligence branch. Not to mention,
stop.
Them real killers are actually in the Navy. When they found Saddam and all of them, that's the SEALs.
That was the SEALs.
That was Navy SEALs.
That's us. So,
I know what you're saying, but I've heard a lot too. Not saying one is right or wrong. You can't say anyone is, you know what I mean? We all here together, but they all got their own little things they say, so it's funny.
When we get to boot camp, we learn songs, and in the songs, you're talking crap about all other branches.
Right.
It's almost like, I guess, like fraternities and sororities. It's kind of like that type tip. But we all need each other, you know what I'm saying?
Because I started to go to the Air Force myself at one time, and they say all the same stuff. We the smart, we the technical, we this, we that. So, but it's dope though.
Lex, give us one of your funny stories, and then we'll get you in on the Black Panther and see what you got to say about that. Give us a funny story that happened to you. And did you ever have to be out to sea on a boat for more than 2 weeks? That God bless you, sister. I know your heritage was saying to yourself, at least you're not going this way where there's whips and chains.
I got a good question for you too when you're done.
But knock yourself out. But yes, to answer.
We done lost Lamana and her. They'll be back.
Whoa.
Well, while we waiting on her, I was just gonna say
we're gonna wait for them to kick back in.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her if she was familiar with that U.S. Indianapolis.
Buzz says, if I'm wrong, tell me. As far as making black movies, please let me tell people the story, right? White critics seem to get annoyed if there are too many black people in a movie. Really? I was just reading the comments while y'all disappeared. Okay, we can go back.
Appreciate
it was almost like the poltergeist. Oh my God.
We can go back to your regular program. I was just trying to keep it
right.
Nah, real talk. Somebody said that's because they talking about the military. Big Brother's always watching. Yeah, I think the longest I was out to sea was maybe 8 weeks. Because I didn't go, unfortunately, I didn't go on any deployments. But we would basically do something called underway, where you're right outside a cell phone range, basically in waters that are uncharted on the U.S. map. So you can't see them. We know where they are. You know what I mean? It's kind of just that grayish area. But you're kind of just doing circles and circles and circles for no God. It's reasons, but not really. But yeah, I think that was, oh, well, bless your heart, sweetie. I think my favorite story would be, it was a Sunday. Sunday are cleaning days for those who are in the Navy. And especially when you out to sea, you're cleaning the ship. Cleaning a naval ship is a task within itself. It's a ship. Like, anchors got to be cleaned. People are hanging. Like, there's a painter's barge that floats in the water, and you're on the barge cleaning the ship. It is honestly like really creepishly twisted. But I was undesignated, and I got to work with the boatswain's mates, BK, the people who drive the ship. So if you look up the LHA-6 USS America, that's the ship that I was on, and I was able to like bust donuts on a ship in the middle of the ocean, because when they sprayed the ship down to clean it, you have to get that water off some sort of way. So you got to kind of hit a hard left, hard right, and have the ship do this to shake the water off. That was probably the most fun thing I've ever did in my life. Everybody's like flying, and the ship is huge. Like, you literally feel it, and literally like you see it in movies, the wheel is about that big. You're up there with the captain. It's a lot of pressure, but it was pretty cool. But you know, everything of course wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. A black woman being, especially like you said, like you experience a heap of racism in the military. I was in a lot of the regulations that are okay now, like bigger braids or dreadlocks and ponytails, things like that weren't allowed when I was in. So Black women especially, you know, typically we have kinky curly hair where our curls grow this way and not, you know, down. And it was considered unsat, literally in black and white. That is an unsat hairstyle. So they want you to straighten your hair. They want you to pull it back into a bun. Like, it was so bad because I have sensitive scalp. Like, my whole hairline around like the nape of my neck up until when I came out of boot camp was like almost like blistered red from wearing a bun every day because I have naturally curly hair and I can't take tension. So it's a lot that you go through, but the fact that I did it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a veteran and, you know, you get those benefits and things like that. But, you know, a lot of people always go, how did you do it? And it's just like, you don't really have a choice. Like, once you're in, you belong to the government. So it's either you gonna do what you gotta do, or literally like prison movies. It's the Briggs. It's bread and water. Like, that's not a joke. That's a really kind of...
You heard of the U.S. Indianapolis, I know, right?
Yes.
So what do you think about that? That, for those that don't know, they was sunk at sea and got ate by sharks. It's the government. What?
No. I saw my screen flickering. I'm like, it's the government. You didn't see my screen flickering. What did you say though?
No, but for those that didn't know, and they did make a movie about it with Nicolas Cage that just came out. Van Peebles made it, but U.S. Indianapolis got sunk after delivering atomic bomb parts, and like 300 or 400 men got ate by sharks. They was stuck in the water for like 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they talk about that in the Navy? I mean, you quiet over there. They never mention that. Nobody talk about that or nothing.
Of course,
What year did this happen?
This was in World War II.
It was constructed, and the ship was built in 1930, and I believe it went out the year after, which is like 1931, but it didn't sink until 1945.
Mm-hmm. So nobody...
Yeah, they talk about that just like they talk about, it's one of those kind of like paranormally type things where a lot of things are unanswered. A lot of things weren't as updated as they are now, i.e., the sonar advancements and things like that. But once again, dealing with the Navy, like, you're not going to pretend like there's not creepish stuff out in the sea.
I was about to ask you that next. You ain't seen no UFOs or Loch Ness Monster?
I'm not going to, be dramatic and say I've seen the Loch Ness Monster, but what I will say is my very first time out to watch, they tell you that in the military, especially in the Navy, your eyes will adjust because a lot of the watches that you do are at night and it's pitch black. Now, anybody knows that the further you are from land, the darker it is because there's no city lights. It's just stars and water. If the water is dark and the water reflects off of the sky, reflects off the water, everything is black. Now, with that, you have the beauty of, that was the first time I felt like I'm from the city, so that was the first time I felt like I could touch a star. The stars are literally just right here. You can map everything out. But in that same breath, with all the blackness, when your eyes begin to adjust and you can see, just like I can see y'all like right now in the light, you can see in the dark like that. And a lot of things that are like shadowy or moving, like, I'm not going to say I know for a fact what it is, but I know I saw what I saw. And when you're in the middle of the water, especially in the storms, I would see like the most creepishly stuff in the storms. We got stuck in the middle of a storm and it was 18-foot waves. And I was like, it wasn't bad though. I kind of like the rocking motion, but with that, they put an alert out. You got to kind of strap yourself into your rack and stuff like that so you don't roll out because the ship is, extremely agitated. You're rocking left and right, but it was just like a really piercing bright light, like in the sky that kind of like zoomed. And I kind of looked and they were like, it's probably just a shooting star or something, but it was like a halo green.
Tic Tac.
It was like a halo green. And then the sky just got really foggy. So, yeah, I've seen some creepy stuff out to sea, and I don't question it. That's just when the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. They like, Lord, don't take me now. Not now, Jesus.
I know that's right. You heard of you heard about the Tic Tac.
That is her link. If you want to send this lovely young lady a super chat for all her wonderful services right there on the spot. Let's get her in on this Black Panther story. So, Lex, after watching the movie, what would you rate it? And based on your rating, let me know what you would change to make it a perfect movie. So, what would you rate it? How did you like it?
I'm gonna give it like a solid 7.
Okay.
Like a solid 7, and I think it's because, me personally, I said it before, I do not think they should have came out with a 2. I think they should have left well enough alone. I still feel like that. The movie was not terrible. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, God, why did they ruin the legacy? Not at all. So I don't want it to seem like that. However, they could have left it where it was. We didn't need a 2. We could have just left that where it was. And exactly the plot that I had in my head and I spoke to my friends about when they said, Black Panther 2, The first thing I said, why Shuri be the Black Panther and he got a hidden baby somewhere? As soon as it happened, I said, crown me down. I knew that. What else are you gonna do? Like, it's not that it was just one of those situations where, like I said, the movie was not bad. The acting was excellent, but they could have kept it. I didn't need it. Honestly, I really didn't need it. I didn't need to sit that long and watch it for what it was almost like dragging out. We all knew Shuri was gonna be it. From the posters, it was a feminine body. It's like, who else gonna be the Black Panther but Shuri? I mean, so it's just this whole chase for like the magical orb, and now you got the cousins of Aquaman coming out the sky, and then this one's here and that one's there, and then a snippet of Michael B. like take revenge. Like, it was just like, hurry up and be over, please. I just was really sitting there the whole time. All right.
Well, now that Lex is in the conversation, I do have to talk about my man M'Baku and them gorilla niggas from the mountains. So first, I'm gonna start with Moochie. Moochie, I felt like they didn't represent him as the only real deal male, basically, that was having dialogue in Wakanda. I don't feel like that the male presence was represented well. And by saying that, I'm not knocking down the woman's presence, because I'm in support of the woman's presence. But the first movie gave us a well-balanced dynamic between the great female leads and the great men leads. This one didn't do the same thing.
I agree.
So what would you have said we could have done to make M'Baku a little better?
I feel like they should have kept his character the same. They basically, how can I say it? Like I said, it was an article saying that it was gonna be more of him. He was gonna have a bigger part. I thought we were going to see that. It's bad enough they got rid of the other character. Well, the other character didn't show up because he had schedule conflicts, and he opted out of not filming Black Panther to film Nope, and that was garbage.
What character?
So I'm just like,
okay. I got
it was trash.
But Jordan Peele is the one that blew his career up, so maybe. I don't know. But I get it. It's a bigger role with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure his check with Jordan Peele far exceeds anything he would have got from royalties with this movie. So, and Jordan Peele
or
basically
friendship
in his career.
Yeah, that's your friendship.
So I guess he felt he had to be obligated to do it. I get what y'all saying.
Maybe.
Jay, what would you have done?
They didn't have him talking enough.
Yeah,
and then he was the comic relief. I just didn't like how they had his character this time.
Yeah, I mean, I would have did it differently. I mean, we saw that they had the ceremony to see who was going to be the next Black Panther and things. Now, yeah, they didn't have the heart-shaped herb, but they still could have had a ceremony and had people try to fight to see who's going to lead the clan again. Why they didn't do that? They did it the first time. Why they didn't do it this time? I was like, okay, so what? We going to have another fight and Shuri going to win? But nope, no fight. We'll just accept it. And, she don't know how to fight. So, but the one thing, I do think we needed this movie. And I look at this movie as a bridge. I don't look at this movie as its own movie kind of. I look at this as they had to put something in place so we could get to the next person that's going to be. So we see, like I said, my joke, I like saying it, fight for child support. But once we needed this to get there, you know what I mean? So
Okay, so my question is this. Are we going to have to wait 20 years for another Black Panther?
That's the thing. That's a good question. Because I like how they didn't do the time jump for Shorty, but he's still too young. So are they going to do a time jump? Or are we going to wait?
I gave y'all probably the best thing that they can do if they're willing to do it. He's definitely going to be in the Young Avengers as a Black Panther.
I like that.
That's going to happen.
That's a good start.
What they could do to rear him, since we got the whole multiverse, go get a T'Challa from another universe, let him step in and kind of fill the void, help Shuri along as she's Black Panther. Then you've got a T'Challa Black Panther that's rearing this young man to speed up his progression to be the Black Panther for the 212, which is this universe. Then you can send that T'Challa back to his multiverse, and boom, there you go.
Yeah, put Chadwick face on somebody else. No, I'm just...
No, they ain't gonna do all that. They're not gonna do that.
I'm just joking.
You need to have somebody in the mask the whole time.
You could do that.
You could do that and get away with it, and then you could probably do his voice a little, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
You think that would be bad taste to use his voice type stuff?
Yeah, that would be horrible. That'd be horrible. That'd be like T-Pain pretending he can sing, and every time we hear him, it's computerized.
He can.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see one.
I know I heard he won, but I didn't see it. Yeah. But I heard he could see it. But that's funny though.
Moochie. I've seen.
Like I sound like I'm just saying like ridiculous stuff right now.
Yeah, you do.
I'm being ridiculous.
I'm in love with her.
What would you have done to fix M'Baku?
I really just think they should have really used his strengths in combat. Like he almost beat T'Challa in the first Black Panther, so that should stand for something. Now those people, just like Crystal said last night, we know what them Talakans was coming, what they was working with. They was on a different level. So at the same time, it felt like they made him like a blumbling idiot or something. Like I did not like the way they did him in combat. Now I appreciated the part that they, opened him up as, like Shuri's kind of counselor, mentor, trying to, give her the advice, look out for her, give her some more emotional support and stuff like that. I liked it. So when they said they gave him a bigger part, I thought that was the bigger part. That, he kept providing counsel for her throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to be stronger in combat.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Legends of Sleepy Hollow. Legends of Sleepy Hollow said, bring on Sam Jackson to portray the baby Black Panther. I would love that. You the Black Panther, mother. This time for training, mother. You ready to fight, mother? That would be amazing.
There's some Black Panthers on this plane.
Right. Wakanda forever, mother.
I think they still should be cast T'Challa though.
I do too. So
T'Challa's back, mother.
What would you have done with M'Baku?
Yeah, no, I think everybody kind of like hit it perfectly on the head. They kind of played him out, and I think that was Moochie that just said it a big point. Like he was 1-1 with T'Challa in the first movie, so it was just like, did he G-strength himself? Like, that once again, one of those things that I was saying. And then I just wanted to, before I even finish, let me scrolly back to somebody comment that I was supposed to respond to. Somebody said, hold up, wait. Somebody said that okay, J12, aka said, we did and do need this movie to continue. Why should we not have a Black superhero? Please understand that I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a Black superhero, but also understand that he's not the only Black superhero. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes when you have sequels and prequels and everything like that, it becomes a nuisance and annoying, and it actually becomes a turnoff. Like I said, I could have saved this time taking a nap or eating snacks. It honestly wasn't one of those, like, yes. When I saw the first Black Panther, I left the movie on some, let me go take a DNA test. I'm trying to see am I Wakandian. You feel me? I didn't feel like that this time. And like I said, it is not that the movie was bad, because the movie was excellent, but it just wasn't, it wasn't the same level as the first one. And ultimately, we knew it wasn't going to be that because Chadwick wasn't in there. Now, everybody else held their own. However, like I said, he's not the only Black superhero. We got Storm. I can't name a lot of other ones because I don't watch superhero stuff, but we got some more Black ones. So
it ain't many, though. It ain't many. Yeah, I was waiting to hear that list.
But I'm just saying, this one, like, we didn't, they could have left this where this was. But as far as him, like I said, they kind of played him out too. His role was really kind of just like like we said, comedic relief. It wasn't really as powerful and potent as that first, time. And he has that kind of underlying funniness to him, which I like with his acting. But the first time around, it was more serious with like the occasional giggle. This time it was kind of just like giggle.
Did you watch Marvel movies before you saw the first one?
It depends on who's Marvel. See, I don't be knowing the difference between Marvel, DC, apples and bananas. So
Okay.
probably, I know.
Moochie and
sure
Anita, did y'all watch Marvel movies before?
I watched Marvel movies, and I had somebody where they be doing the comic book stuff. Now, I feel like with this, the Black Panther has so much more of a story to tell, and I feel like our youth need it. And I'm look at what they looking up to right now.
Who?
So I feel like
2 Chainz.
these rappers, all this stuff that's happening. Look,
Right.
I feel like once they I don't think they should just end this character, and I'm kind of disappointed that they brought his illness onto this character too. That didn't have to be there. They could have said his demise was another way.
Or just recast him.
Even though they didn't say it, but they said it.
He died of COVID.
No, here you go.
That's what they did in the movie, basically. That's what I figured. What they say? He got a sudden illness and died.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. He had an illness, and then the herbs couldn't stop it, and this and that.
If weed can't save you,
so
you in
much more of
trouble.
a story to tell with all of the comic book origins and stuff. I know this was next to be in line. They could have went with something else.
Yeah, they probably should have pushed it off. I think the more time they would have separated and we saw Black Panther maybe at phase 5, at the end of phase 5, just kind of pushed it down the line, I think people would have taken to a recast a little bit better if you just spaced it out, where it's not so close, where you're trying to compare this new person to Chadwick. Oh,
that would have happened regardless, though.
Right,
I just
because it's been 3 years.
I was conflicted when I walked out.
I mean,
I didn't have that same feeling when I walked out of the first.
yeah. I felt depressed.
With the first one,
I was depressed. I was like,
with the first, exactly. With the first one, you walked out
empowered,
happy. You felt like when James Brown came out with "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." I'm from that when that was out when I was younger. That with the fist in the air and the pick with the fist and all of that. You came out like that. You came out wanting to wear dashikis. All of this with the next wave that came to the movie.
I saw people doing that. Yeah, I saw people when they doing that.
This time.
Lamont, let me ask you: the first movie, did you want to put on the dashiki?
No.
I'm just what?
No. No.
It was
That's
a lot of
why
people
the
doing
second
it though.
wave
It was a lot.
Yeah, once people was hearing about it, it was people going to the movies once and twice to see it.
It
It was.
At the theater and whole costume tribals doing African dances down the aisle. Black people was showing out.
They was taking pictures in front of the poster.
Happen again.
Yeah, people.
Once they see that it's a possibility that we can ignite, they shut it down, and that's how I felt about it.
I mean, he didn't die on purpose in real life.
I'm not saying that they use it as an opportunity, though.
True. I mean,
so Jay, are you doing an after party on your channel tonight?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
We ain't got nothing happening tonight, but we will be back soon. I was doing the BMF, but I ain't gonna do that tonight. The BMF episode 4, I did it yesterday. But
that's the last one, right?
No, it's 8 episodes.
It's 8 of them. 8 of them. Yeah.
Oh, they milking now. Okay.
Yeah, they cut it into
I'm
30
gonna put a bow
minutes.
on it for y'all like this. I'm in the boat of the movie was good, but what made it not good is because in the comics, this villain was not even really a villain. He's kind of anti-hero, but this particular character is a yin and a yang to T'Challa. And to see Shuri ascend this fast didn't have the gravity it would have had we would have had a T'Challa fighting Namor.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, it felt unearned. It was just...
Yeah, it's just that simple.
I want to ask you a question, Lamont.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think because of the fact that Shuri was a woman, she was able to get to Namor, catch Namor off guard with because he actually showed her the area. So I believe that was the only advantage she had as far as that, which I liked it because then we got to see that, we got to see we got to see his world.
Yeah.
No, he would have done that for Chad too, because he would have felt like king versus king. You got to understand, you've been protecting and keeping Wakanda a secret for all these years. I need you to understand why I'm keeping my thing a secret. Because a similar thing happened in the comics. Very similar thing happened in the comics.
Okay.
And one thing that happened that we didn't get to see, Namor's right-hand man, Atuma, the one that fought Okoye, in the comics, he gets mad because he wants to be the ruler. And underwater, he's as strong as the Hulk, even stronger than Namor underwater. But when you get him out of water, he ain't quite as strong. And so he started a war and pretended like someone from the surface did it to get Wakanda and the Tolkiens to fight each other. And he pretended like it came from somewhere up north. Somewhere above the water. And he had a lot of people that was tired of Namor trying to have peace. He got a bunch of them to rebel. And then the surface world, he had all their great weapons and was about to take it to the surface world. And then Wakanda and Namor had to come together to whip Atuma's butt. And when Atuma first seen the Hulk, he thought he was going to do something with the Hulk above the water. He stepped on Hulk's toe, made Hulk mad. Hulk beat the pure living fins off that fish. Do you hear me? It was a fish fry. And the Hulk was frying that you-know-what. So there's so many stories they could have done with that. I felt like if you was going to have this movie now, just take Namor out. Don't use him as the villain. Don't even use him as the villain. You could have used Kraven, but Sony has the credits to him, so they weren't going to give him up. But there's other villains you could have used that are menacing, not as menacing as Namor, but would have been a better fit for Shuri to play the lead Black Panther than Namor. Namor is just he was too big for this, but, it is what it is now.
Did he always have wings on his feet? I didn't remember that.
Always had wings on his feet.
Yeah. When he came
always had wings on his feet.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought Marvel was going to not add the wings to his feet the way it is in the comics, but they did. And they making him a mutant on MCU. Not in the comics, he wasn't a mutant, but up here they're making him a mutant. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be interviewing one of B. Avery's homies, LB, the sweetest Southern voice you're going to ever find. Her voice will put you to sleep at night. Come check her out. We're going to introduce you to her channel, introduce her to the Life Gains team, and she's going to talk a little crap about Black Panther 2, and I can't wait for y'all to hear that voice. I'll be back with the Hammer and Lex on Thursday so we can get back to American Horror Story. How you ladies liking what you're seeing so far of American Horror Story, and the review we're going to do Thursday?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Lex the Sailor. Okay, she's ready, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm excited.
She's ready. Okay, so don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. We'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here Wednesday, and I will be here Thursday to that next Sex is Hell video. We out.
Bye.